Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the Neon 1000, my continuing exploration of this book given away with Neon magazine in the late 90s. So as you know, if you've been watching any of these, I've been slowly working my way through the various categories, and then I'll create a modern version based on films released after 1997, which is when the book came out. So when I did the blaxploitation category, it's very hard to make a modern list because those kind of films aren't really made anymore. So I came up with the spirit of blaxploitation. I've just recently done Bond movies. There have only been 8 Bond movies released since this book came out, so not even enough to make a list. So you can't even pick out the bad ones because there's not enough to make a whole list. So then I thought I'd come up with a completely different list. I mean, I could make the spirit of Bond, but there's also a spy movies section later on, so I'll probably chuck a few of those in there. So instead, I'm doing computer movies. Basically any movie that revolves around computers, the internet, virtual reality, or like video games or video game adaptations. Basically a category they wouldn't have thought of at the time because there wasn't that many things that would have fit within it. First up, Tron from 1982, where Jeff Bridges plays this programmer who's sucked into a computer world and is forced to compete in gladiatorial games by this malevolent piece of software. You can't make a list like this and not include Tron. It was a groundbreaking film at the time, and humble brag, my uncle was one of the many programmers who helped make the special effects. It is amazing. There is no film that visually looks like it. Even the sequels don't look like the original. But I do find it personally a little bit boring. But you cannot not include it in a list like this. War Games from 1983, starring a pre-Ferris Bueller Matthew Broderick, who basically hacks into a military computer and almost starts World War III. The Wizard from 1989, where Fred Savage refuses to let his brother be institutionalised, so the two run away. While on the run, he realises his brother is a wizard at video games, so decides to head to the World Video Game Championships to prove that he's got what it takes. So this is basically a big advert for Nintendo. So it features lots of Nintendo games and accessories like the Power Glove and things like that. And it was the first time you got to see Super Mario Bros. 3. Like I said, one big advert. But it does also feature a very young Tobey Maguire. Lawnmower Man from 1992, where a simple gardener, through the wonders of virtual reality, becomes a super genius with psychokinetic powers and eventually becomes part of the digital world. Just like Tron, this is here because of the groundbreaking nature of it. It's one of the first films about virtual reality. The special effects were fantastic for the time. Street Fighter 2, the animated movie from 1994. For a very, very long time, this was the pinnacle of video game adaptations. Nothing really compared to this. Though most people probably didn't see this because it's an anime. It has amazing soundtrack, or at least the US English dub version does. It's got like Alice in Chains and Silverchair on it. And for all the young teenage boys, there's a shower scene with Chun-Li. Having a wank. Hackers from 1995. By the mid-90s, video games weren't just for kids, they were cool. And so was cybercrime apparently. So a bunch of high school hackers uncover a plot to steal millions by a fellow hacker who clearly watched Superman 3. The Matrix from 1999, where Keanu Reeves discovers that the entire world as he knows it is actually a computer simulation, and the human race are basically batteries for the machine race that took over. This film genuinely had me questioning my own reality after I watched it, but then it just leads to lots of sequels which kind of ruin it a little bit. Do watch the Animatrix though, that is pretty cool, and yeah, just leave it at that. Her from 2019, where Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with an AI, which even though it wasn't that long ago seemed fantastical and far-fetched, but now there are people that actually have AI girlfriends, which is weird. Sonic the Hedgehog from 2020, with the Sega mascot finally gets his own live-action movie. James Marsden makes a less ridiculous version of Hop, and Jim Carrey has one of the best roles of his entire career, and one that keeps making him come out of retirement. And finally, the Minecraft movie from 2025, where the gaming phenomenon Minecraft becomes a cinematic phenomenon. Chicken jockey! Pretty generic plot. Bunch of real world people get sucked into a video game world. But this is genuinely one of my favourite cinematic experiences. Personally, when you enter the world of Minecraft, the visuals of seeing the whole world were amazing. But seeing the look on my son's face while he was watching it was absolutely priceless. There was also a child a couple of seats behind us who gasped with such excitement when they saw Creeper on the screen. There were just so many moments like that. You could hear different people's reactions to seeing this thing that they love. It was genuinely moving to just see these people's reactions to this thing they've grown up on. So that's the computer list. What movies do you think I should have left off? What should I have included? I have previously asked the internet via Instagram, Facebook, Threads, whatever, and I got so many different responses. It was no help making my list whatsoever. So let me know in the comments below. But for now, so long, farewell.